I know what I got. I know my girl. My girl been with me for 5 years.
Hello, everybody. Welcome back to the Talk Podcast World. I'm so excited, guys. I'm so excited for the new year. I hope you guys are excited as well. I hope you guys are just joyful and have, just so much positive, so much positive outlook to the year that is coming. I wish you all the best. Be safe and stay kind, all that good stuff, right? I am really, really joyful about this idea of having a fresh new start. I've never thought that, like the years before, I always be like, oh yeah, it's just another year, like every other year. But for whatever reason, this year I'm really, really excited for changes and new things to, start. So let's go. I want to talk about Travis Hunter. You guys can already tell I do not know too much about football. Actually, nothing, okay? I don't know anything about the sports. I've tried, it's not for me. But for those who know, right, I'm not trying to mess up anything that has to do with the sports itself. And I'm also not here to talk about some young puppy love in that sense, trying to talk down on them. And I'm not trying to do that. But at the same time, it could come across in that way because I will point out certain things that I find very interesting. There's a lot to learn for younger people out there, for everyone actually, right? Because, this has nothing to do necessarily with age. We could all find ourselves in this kind of confusing situation. And also we need to understand that, look, it's always easy to, from the outside looking in, judge. These are celebrities. These are people who are living definitely a different life, right? So it's not, we're not here to compare our day-to-day life with their day-to-day life. That is not what we're doing. But altogether, I believe there's so much to learn. One thing that I find very interesting and is... maybe I'm wrong, correct me if I'm wrong, but this is something that is completely different to how women show support within a relationship, if that makes sense. Such a weird way to put it. But look, I have seen so many men in all age groups, all categories, well-known, not known, sports head, not sports head, rappers, entertainers, even some who are like in some kind of business ventures. Like everyone is interested and everyone cares a lot for this young man. And that is something that stood out to me, that I want to speak on. What I also want to speak on is just something about, unfortunately, we need to go there, something about this young lady that shows certain red flags. Like I do not know her, so maybe I'm just, exaggerating. And let's see where this conversation is going to go. What else do we need to talk on? I think for young men, there's definitely so much to learn. The beauty about getting older and learning in life is experience that we gather, right? There's certain experience that I will say you don't need to pick them all up, right? It's fine. You learn from other people's mistakes. When it comes to relationship, love, and all that good stuff, experience is quite meaningful. And for you to have experience doesn't mean you need to be sleeping around with a bunch of people and having tons of relationship that didn't work out. No, that's not what I'm saying. But it's kind of like when you're young and you get into the workforce, right? Or maybe just your first side hustle, not even a big job, just your first tiny side hustle. And you start making money, right? And that is fun to you. It's like, wow, this is great. I know what I'm doing. This is the right thing. That money that you made seems to be the world, right? You can finally do whatever you want. No one can tell you anything, especially if you're one of the first in your peer group, in your friends groups, who maybe is earning money, right? You're like all over the place. You can start affording this. You can start affording that. You can travel. You can finally tap into experiences that they maybe cannot because they're not earning money. And now you, depending on what character you have, you might be like, oh, no one can tell me anything, right? They might be telling you, watch out with how you're spending. And then you might react like, oh, what do you know? You don't even have a job, right? It's my money. I can do whatever I want. So over time, when you gather experience, sooner or later, it's going to hit you. And you're going to be thankful for whoever, your friends, your family members telling you, hey, slow down with how you're spending your money because life has so much more not only to offer, but there's so much more that comes along with it, not just the fun part. You will experience certain things that would teach you, oh, it might have been good for me to like be more cautious, be more careful, or just put, in that sense, money to the side, right? So we're going to get there. For people who just don't like my long intros, I am so sorry. I hope you enjoy. Anyways, if it's not for you, well, there's so many other channels. So let's see. Hope you guys enjoy. Let's start.
Wow. So I'm going to explain everything that just happened in that video to give you guys a bit more context. This first.
Now you may be thinking, how random, what is that about? Why would you just add this weird post? We cannot even understand what it's about. Well, I found this at Shisha Zed's YouTube channel. Go ahead and take a look. But I added that part because I wanted to talk about certain red flags, okay? Now you see, this is some kind of behavior that this young lady used to show in the past with behavior or choice, choose whatever you like. Apparently, or allegedly, she used to be a video vixen. These are people, women who dance and perform in music videos, mostly in a very sensual, sexual way. Then she used to be, apparently, allegedly, an OnlyFans girl. Then there was some kind of, she used to be known to, act a certain way, date a certain type of men, or tried. And then she also dropped some comments about how she wasn't really interested in him. We know that part, a lot of people know. I think that was the part that actually made all these things, the whole situation blow up, because they both decided to, on their TikTok channel, start oversharing things about how they met, things in their relationship, what kind of rules they have, and all that good stuff. So a lot to say here. One thing is the oversharing. I've spoken on this so many times. It is not good. It would always backfire, because you might be sitting there having fun in the moment, sharing something, but you know how people might take it. You might be too comfortable in sharing certain things that you would later on regret. So let's go back to the main part. She used to be allegedly, apparently, this kind of woman who did that to make money or get attention. Now, what I'm trying to stretch is, this is a choice, right? He most likely knew what kind of person she was, what she's involved in, how she acts. So, for whatever reason, he still was interested in this woman. Now, mind you, I know that's also been out there, that he is very young, or he was, especially back then, he was very young when they started, creating this bond. And she's, I guess, 2, maybe 3 years older. It's not even that big of a deal, because for what I know, I'm still thinking they're more or less in the same age group. And now it's like no one cares, I guess. But the thing is, he's a young man who maybe had less experience than her. For whatever reason, was very infatuated by her. He liked her. He wants to be with her. So he chose to ignore certain characteristics about her. And, could be that really he likes her and he's fine with that. But that is the part that a lot of young men, especially, I just noticed, is something about these athletes. They would, how to put it, to me it's almost prefer to choose a woman that draws in a lot of attention. Now, what kind of attention that is for you to make your own opinion. But I would say that they like to interact and be in relationships with women who draw in a lot of attention. But now the problem is, when you're an athlete, or you're someone who's trying to build up whatever career, it is not always in your best interest to have someone close to you who is so much into attention seeking, because whatever that attention is that they are looking for, it might put you in a negative light. And this is basically what I'm seeing. No one is talking about the good things to come about his career path. No one is talking about how he's doing with this step that he's made. No one is actually talking about the big step that he just accomplished. I think it's called the Heisman. Guys, I don't know anything about this. But what I do know is that there should be much more to talk about that has to do with him and his sports and his work, right? There's so much more to talk about in that area, but yet we are sitting all here, myself included, talking about this relationship stuff that doesn't make sense. And I'm thinking, this is now the general part, that young men, young women, because young women do this too, we need to be very intentional and careful about what kind of people we put close to us, because whatever attention they are drawing in is going to affect you, right?
Travie. Check this out, gang. It's coming from your boy Bow Weezy, right? I never met you, don't know you, know nothing. But I will say this, because I've been watching from afar. I'm not the type of jump in people's business, but I was once young, about to make a lot of money, and I know how this shit go. So I need you.
So this is just one quick example, probably the most popular example of another man reaching out to this athlete, to Travis Hunter, trying to, how to put it, talk some sense in him, give some advice. Now, this is, I'm just generalizing everything right now, okay? We're just listening, but this is the part that I find interesting, okay? These are people, yes, they are in kind of the same circle. They will get to know each other if they wanted to at some point for sure. But this is someone that has nothing to do with this young man, right? And he feels a strong need to say, hey, watch out, something might not be going right, and so many more.
To hear me out. Number one, I don't want you feeling as though everybody jumping down your back or cats is hating. That's that young mentality. I want you to look at this like this, care about you. And especially in our community and in this industry, not a lot of brothers get the opportunity like you about to get. You know what I mean? You about to get the biggest check in your life. You about to go to the NFL. And all we are doing is waking you up, young brother. Because if you don't see what the is going on, gang, if we didn't give a we'll let you crash out. But from one player to the next, hey, man, I ain't gonna tell you what to do, but I want you to open up your eyes, man. There's no reason why she commenting on another page, an NBA with her eyes and the mother money tongue out. That's your fiance. Wake up, young brother. Fiancés don't move like that. I ain't never had one of my motherfucking girls ever lay next to me in the same crib as me under another page, leaving her eyes with the money tongue out. Total violation. That bitch would have been packing up her shit and getting the fuck out my crib that day. I don't play that shit. You out. And it's like you so caught up in being in love with this motherfucker, bro. I don't even think this woman really love you like that, bro. You gotta watch the signs, man. That woman said you wasn't even her type.
So now someone listening in has not too much information, hasn't been into the gossip as I have or more people. You might be thinking, oh, okay, I get that to some degree, but isn't that a bit exaggerated? Well, I could see why people are actually worried, because there are so many things that have been occurring, more and more information, or just the attitude, the way she talks about him, that makes people think, is this woman really on your side? Is this woman really the right person for you? I do not care personally, to be honest. I just think that it is fair to say, okay, wait a minute, let me think about what is happening, or let me sit and, instead of going on the internet and trying to bash your fans and trying to bash everyone and, you know, go all in tantrums, maybe try to understand why these people care so much for you and trying to, like, what are they trying to point out to you? That doesn't mean that they are deciding what you're doing, but because you already decided what you're doing, obviously. Now, to some degree, you might give him, you know, credit for being so confident in his choice and standing to what he says. I can agree to that. But the thing is, let's pretend perhaps this wasn't the best thing to do, and many people are pointing that out because they have really, let's say, good reasons, right? Is that still okay to give someone credit for neglecting the obvious? Does that make sense? I don't know, I'm just asking.
If a woman tell me she not my type but end up with me, then what's keeping you here? If I'm not your type, that means you going off looks. So what the is keeping you here? You gotta ask, but you young though. But you gotta ask yourself them questions. We not coming down on you, brother. We trying to wake you up. You know?
Yeah, I mean, also this with being your type, not being your type. I mean, they're super young, right? I guess if you're like 19, sometimes you just say stupid stuff. Oh, he was not my type, just to make yourself maybe look better. I don't know if that was her idea, or maybe it was genuine that back then he wasn't her type and for whatever reason he became her type. You know, things like this actually do happen. And I'm just going to say it out there. This reaction, I'm not picking sides at this point. I'm just pointing a different viewpoint. People would react differently. You see, when we have older folks in their 40s, up 50s, whatnot, or even older, and sometimes they also go on these dating shows. We see that on YouTube, and someone would react like, why did you, pop the balloon, exactly. Why would you pop your balloon? And then the lady in her 40s, 35 and up, or I don't know, would say something like, yeah, he's not my type, right? And most people would be like, oh, we're too old to be doing this, right? You should look at different values, like how is he treating you? What does he do for a living? Is he a good man? Is he stable? Does he have family? Like, you know? So I guess it's not to be harsh on that judgment alone. It's really the whole thing together, right? It's tiny pieces that people have been adding up, and now they're like, oh, wait a minute, there could be something wrong in here.
I'm saying, before this motherfucker end up, last but not least, young brother, I want you to live your life, man. You young, man. I don't even think you're 24 yet. Do you know how much women are about to be thrown your way? Boy, you the Heisman Trophy Award winner. Can't no give you no advice better than me, because I was young with the bag.
That will be 100% true. I guess we all know that successful men are going to draw in the attention of many women. But that is exactly the part where a lot of people also would give him credit for. He has made his choice, right? And we are all hoping that that is the right choice for him. I just think really people are worried because she has been putting so much out there on the internet that just makes the whole relationship look shaky, makes him unfortunately looks a bit foolish, if that makes sense. But we all also need to understand to a certain degree, this is a choice, right? These people want to do and be in that relationship. He wants to, right now, put himself in that position. One thing that I found a bit, I found it a bit suspicious was these rules that they came up with. And he would say, I mean, actually it's your rules, like things like they cannot talk to the opposite gender only if they, you know, that other person acknowledged both of them or whatnot. And yet you are the person who, you know, is communicating with other men on the internet. Now, what I've heard is that that is an older clip or older conversation. But overall, it just seems that my part with the attention seeking, that is not good. People need to be aware of who you are with. If you know your partner is also dragging in some kind of attention, be sure that that attention that she or he is seeking is not going to put you in a bad light. Otherwise, please communicate that. And altogether, I don't know why everyone needs to be putting their relationship on TikTok. Why do you guys do that?
And I'm still here doing it, navigating through this whole shit. And I'm telling you from first-hand experience, brother, it's about to be so many women about to throw that thing your way, you ain't gonna be able to turn it down. So all it's gonna do is just lead to frustration and all type of bullshit in your household anyway. Young brother, snatch that ring back, get focused on what's important. It's hard to build your shit when you got a broad with you. Bro, you in the media more for the broad than you is for the winning the Heisman. I don't like that. You know what I mean?